What's up, brothers and sisters? Kunal here, Bulls on Wall Street. Guys, another decent day in the markets after yesterday's reversal. Today, in today's video, we're going to take a look at the stock market indices and then take a dive into really what's going on, with these markets, and then my stocks to watch for the coming week, specifically tomorrow. First of all, guys, we are in a range. It's a tradable range with a lot of action, but we're in a range, in essence, right? If you look at the price from July to now, we're really just right. We're at the exact same spot as if we have been for 9 months, give or take, minus some epic runs in between, right? So that's what I mean by very tradable range. We're in a range, but the trading action has been good. Now look. The volatility has been high. Yesterday the market had gapped down pretty significantly, and we were down about 3% in the overnight session, and we ended up gapping down pretty big, and then, we ended up ramping and closing up almost green on the day. I will say this, the market has been resilient. It has shaken off that DeepSeek news. It's shaken off all this tariff stuff. And yes, we're getting a lot of volatility to the downside on these down days with some distribution, but we're getting also the dips have been getting bought up. And that's range trading in a nutshell. When things look really, really good, they become bad. And when things look really, really bad, they often get good. But that reversal yesterday was nice. And then, right, we had a follow through day today. So now we'll see kind of what's going on, into this coming thing. But in essence, look. We're just stuck in a range, right? And this range has been around for a long time. So till that resides itself, you want to do a handful of things. Number one, it's earnings season. There are stocks with earnings every day that are following through to the upside and downside, right? Things like PayPal, things like Palantir, right? That have these kind of catalysts out there that you can trade, right? Coming today for tomorrow, right? Google has earnings out. It's taking a not huge shitter, but a little bit of one. And so, this will be in play, and we'll see kind of how that impacts some of the tech names. So we've got action all over the place. So even though we're in a range, there's a couple things to be mindful. Number one, don't get overconfident and chase anything. As long as the QQQ is stuck in a range, if you chase too aggressively, like you would if the QQQs was trending, in this manner here or this manner here, you'll get pulled in inopportune times, especially with all this news out, and the tariffs and stuff like that. If for those of you guys that are new traders, when Trump took over in 2016, the action was just the same. Yes, it was really bullish, but intraday and randomly, a couple times a week, the market would just dump out of nowhere because, right, he's doing the Trumpy things that he does. And so that's just comes with the territory, and we're used to it. You got to just get used to it. That's how it's going to be for the next 4 years, right? So that's just how it is. It's not necessarily good or bad. It just is what it is, right? Now, let's take a look and build out some stocks. I'll be pretty quick today. I think there's some handful of names out here that I want to focus on. Number one, we have all these Chinese names, right? PDD's got a nice level here that I think could break really probably tomorrow. Hopefully it doesn't gap. That's the China stocks. They've been sometimes gapping through all the spots and not giving entries, but you have a spot here. Ever since this deep dick stuff came out, the Chinese stocks have been really cooking, right? So PDD, Baba's got a spot right here at 104. Could just break tomorrow. We were trading this earlier today. Decent enough range. You also can also trade the calls on this, which is what I typically do. There was decent enough volume. It usually doesn't do any, but you can see here the 103 is at 12. 7.5, 8.3. So you've got some good action on the options. Add in shop here. You got flat top breakout setting up right here. Your earnings are still not for another week, so we've got a little bit of protection there. Don't hold through earnings. I'm just saying, as a day trade or short-term swing trade, it looks pretty good. Snow. This is something I'm actually in for a swing trade, but also it's got really, really good day trading action. Also, it is a little bit wicky due to the lack of liquidity, but it's got a good spot to it. Crowd is another one that I'm currently in for swing trading, but also on a day trade basis. If it tears off through this 410, I think that this is going to be something that we can take. You can see here you've got a level setting up here that looks pretty good. So add that one in. CRM, I think we got a triple tap breakout setting up. I want to try to get something low on this so I can either sell into the spike, or as you're coming into earnings, in a couple weeks, or, I can kind of ride it through there and see if it actually breaks. But I like the overall look. DocuSign didn't get any action today. Not sure what's going on with that. Its earnings are not for a month, but you have a $98 give or take breakout setting up on this. You have this powerful push and then a nice rounding pattern over here. It's got a good look to it. So let's keep this one on the watch list. And then I got a couple to the downside. You got old PayPal. Really shit the better. It had really beautiful follow through today too, right? Like, 4 or 5 points to the downside with great liquidity at 60 million shares. Can't beat that because it means you can get as much size as you want, right? Which is huge. I think that one, and, if we need another short, this Estee Lauder is... got a nice breakdown here too. The range on this was really good. You can see here, you gap down, had a quick pop, and then boom, came through the level and just ripped it down 4 or 5 points. Dude, you can't ask for better trading than that, right? Like, especially for a $30-40 billion company, if you can get big candles like that are coming at a $1-2, you can really, really shred. Guys, there's a whole host of other kind of names that are doing okay. Keep an eye on AMD, of course, for a play tomorrow too. You're breaking down again. I can't believe these earnings are just getting usually something that's been trending down like this, bad news begets more bad news, but it's been cut in half now. You'd think at some point it's getting picked up, but it's just not. So I haven't read the reports or anything like that, but I do know that the trend on this has just been terrible of recent. So, we'll add this one. We'll add Google, and then, you have the usual things like, keep a couple of these nuclears and these AI companies on because they always will just randomly go. So short list today. We don't need to do too much. Like I said, this is not necessarily a breakout market. Like there's pockets of these nice strengths like Shop and Hood and some of these kind of stocks. But it is not like what it was a couple months ago where you're just going gangbusters and holding a lot of overnights. Be mindful of the news cycle and things like that. And, dude, there'll be some good stuff tomorrow. Let's go do what we do, guys. I love you guys. Peace.